In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Boba Fett for the Vintage Collection. He's VC 275, and this Boba Fett in particular is in his original Vintage Kenner colors. He's just a repaint of the Return of the Jedi Fett here, and of course similar to the Droids Boba Fett, which I do have individual videos of on the channel. And he was released as part of a wave of other Boba Fett repaints. The other two were specifically from comics. One of them's in like a greenish or a dark green and yellow and indigo color. And then there's also another one that's in Christmas colors, basically. I wasn't really too interested in getting those other two, but I was very interested in getting this Kenner one here. I'm not totally sold on the actual tooling of the original Kenner action figure. I don't really see a need to really add any to my collection. Perhaps I will in the future if I get more interested in it. But I do like the original Kenner colors for Boba Fett at least, so I thought this would be a perfect action figure for me to get. It's been out for a couple years now, and mostly I haven't got around to getting it because it's kind of expensive on the aftermarket, and I think this was another release on Hasbro's part where, for whatever reason, availability was very slim. I think it may have been like a Target exclusive or some type of exclusive of some sorts. So of course it was very expensive, very hard to get hold of, and it's just taken me about 2 years to finally get one. And I did also get them alongside a few other action figures that we'll be taking a look at here within the next month. And for all the other action figures you see here, it's just kind of a sneak preview of what we'll be taking a look at here next. But we'll go ahead and round out all the Boba Fett action figures that we've been taking a look at recently that I have. And I have to admit as well, it's very tempting to keep this guy on the card. It looks really good. In some ways, fortunately, the seller that I bought this from, they didn't really have this package very well, so the card is kind of warped. And another good incentive for me to go ahead and open it is the Disney logo there. If there's one thing I really don't want to be constantly reminded of or even see, is the Disney logo. So that's another good reason for me to go ahead and open this. Perhaps at some point I will get like an older Boba Fett, maybe the original TVC one, that's VC09, just to keep carded, because this is a really nice card. But at the end of the day, I get these action figures to open up and enjoy anyway, and it really would serve me no purpose to keep it on the card. But we'll view this card and everything about it on the video here. So the original Star Wars banner here, Luke and Leia there, nice image of Boba, action figure, and as I mentioned, VC 275. And then the other action figures, which I have pretty much all of them reviewed on the channel at this point, except for Vel and Cassian. I have to admit, I don't think I'll be getting those action figures anytime soon. But the rest of them are really good. But I'll go ahead and open this up on screen here. It'll be easy enough to get them out. It came off the card fairly easily. I would like to get the rocket firing Boba Fett at some point as well. The one that was a mailway exclusive back in 2010 or 11. And if I ever did get that one, I would keep that one carded instead. Missed out on it back in the day. I can tell already that this is a fantastic action figure. Really like the paintwork. I would say it's pretty faithful to the Kenner action figure. I've never actually owned one, but I've seen enough pictures of it online to have a good idea of what it looks like. The thruster here was kind of bent inside the package. I did notice that, so I'll have to work that out here a little bit. You got the red missile there. It's the light blue colors. For his jumpsuit, armor is a light green, some yellow, some dark red there, some dark blue mixed in with his jetpack there. He is super articulated. He does have the head underneath the helmet there. Rangefinder is not movable. I wish that was one thing that Hasbro would go ahead and correct with this Boba Fett sculpt. It probably won't be happening anytime soon. Does have the dent in the helmet there. No Mandalorian symbol on his shoulder, like this one. But that's probably faithful to the Kenner figure. And we'll compare them to the droids Boba Fett here. Hopefully it can focus. Yeah, pretty much all just repaints on one another. And for his signature rifle, this time it's all just cast in black. Glad to have something a little bit different with that. Kind of tricky to get this in his hand sometimes, but fortunately it's I know I say I like a lot of the action figures with a harder plastic, but it is nice having a soft plastic for the hands at least. It usually makes it easier to get the weapons in their hand. Something like that. Jetpack should be removable as well if you really wanted to. And all three of these I think look great together. I have to get a stand for him here soon. And unfortunately, this was probably towards the tail end of the era where a lot of the holes at the bottom of their feet could still accommodate a stand pretty well. But I think that's pretty much all I can really tell you about the Kenner Boba Fett here. Would I recommend them for your collection? I would if you're a big fan of Boba Fett. It's more of a novelty item. I wouldn't say it's the most essential action figure you need to get for your collection. If you just want one Boba Fett, definitely get the Return of the Jedi one or the Empire Strikes Back one, depending which movie you prefer. And he does have a slightly different look in each film. But if you're a huge fan of the character and you like a lot of different interpretations of him, it's a solid action figure. Perhaps down the road I will get the other two. They're not really a priority for me. And I would say between the three, the comic Boba Fett's are probably a little bit cheaper than the Kenner one here. I imagine this one's probably a little bit more sought after for people who grew up with the Kenner line and are very nostalgic about that. But it's just a great action figure. Happy to have him for the collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for playing more in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, and check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.